last 5 pitches. Here he goes again. Taken for a strike. Is it any wonder that taken for a ball, rather, taken for ball 4? Boy, I heard Rick Reed's call, and it sounded like strike 3. Instead, it's ball 4. Let me tell you something. If that had been strike 3, Jaws had been thrown out by 50 feet.
And you see Brad Penny again not happy with the call. Sitting up in.
Wow. Let me tell you, we heard him say ball. That looked like strike 3 to me. Brad Penny's a little chapped about the strike zone tonight. And, you know, I think he's got a pretty good beef. I really do. And we call him like we see him.
Brad Penny hadn't been happy with the calls behind the plate all night long. And
you tell me what you think about this pitch, T, because I really think Brad Penny has a legitimate beef with this call.
I agree. But again, you know, I think that's a pretty good pitch. But again, you know, Grady Little comes out to see what's going on. And as Grady Little goes out to the mound, Rick Reed is coming out half from behind home plate, halfway to the pitcher's mound. Like, you know, he's trying to instigate this thing. And again, I'm just telling you what I see. I hadn't seen this very often, but we saw the first base umpire Chris Guccione throw out Julio Lugo when the guy was just slamming his helmet in frustration. Now, granted, Brad Penny's and Woody Williams both have been kind of complaining about this strike zone tonight, but nobody complaining more than Brad Penny about it. Grady Little comes out to the mound, and Rick Reed is halfway between home plate and the pitcher's mound, standing there with his arms crossed, saying something to Brad Penny.
So what's Bochy's problem?
Bochy's problem is that, hey, you know what? I got 2 guys on base. I got a pitcher sitting in the dugout, waiting around. Let's get this game going on, because he'd already come out there once to check on his foot. And Grady Little comes out again. That's the second time. And then he wants to know, hey, was that first one a wash, or is that the second time he's been out there?
And in the meantime, they've got plenty of time to get Elmer Descends loose, and he's ready to go now in the midst of all this nonsense. And that, I think that's exactly it, T. That's Bochy's problem.
And so they're going to meet and say, hey, did you say that was that first time out to check Brad Penny? Was that a trip to the mound, or was that an injury timeout? Because I tell you what, if they say that was not an injury timeout to check on his foot, it's really going to get ugly around here.
If they tell Grady Little that he's got to remove his starter, we're going to have an explosion.
It's going to be ugly. It's going to be ugly. And I told you, these guys, they work together as a group. They're going to stick together. So they're talking it over now. Did we give the signal that it was an injury? Did we give the signal that was an injury timeout or not? Because if they didn't, he's going to have to pull Brad Penny. And I'm going to tell you, Grady Little and Brad Penny are not going to be happy about it.
Well, Penny has thrown 101 pitches tonight. This has taken an inordinate amount of time.
And at the same time, here's Brad Penny. Now the trainer comes out. There's Rick Reed coming out. Grady Little comes out.
And now we've got Rick Reed as they've reached a conclusion.
Well, this one's... I'm going to hold on. I'm going to shut up and hold on to my hat here.
Rick Reed looks like Hawk Harrelson, by the way.
He does.
Plenty of time to study that. He gone. 2-0, good guys. We could have fulfilled many a sponsorial obligation in the time that we've taken here. This is really a very unusual delay, and the fans are even chiming in now. Let's go.
Of course, Grady Little, he's going to drag this thing out because he isn't happy right now with his play call and home plate calls, and he isn't happy with the fact that the last time he came out here, he was barking at Brad Penny while he was trying to talk to him. And, of course, Grady Little is going to let him know about it.
This bit of gamesmanship and umpiral indecision has now taken 5.5 minutes. And again, it's not that we need that 5.5 minutes back in our lives. It's just that it has, oh, gone. Strategically, it has altered the game.
Yes.
And Rick Reed listened very patiently and then said, I've had enough of you, and let's get this thing moving.
Well, we haven't gotten a decision yet on whether Brad Penny's still in the game or not.
I would imagine that now they're going to break the bad news to Penny.
Now, and if that's the case, here we go.
Yeah, it's starting. Here it is. He's starting to get going.
Letting him know.
He's
right
winding
now.
himself up.
Yep.
Gone!
There it is. And now you might as well get your money's worth now because they've been chirping all night long.
Now he's going to go nuts.
And Brad Penny's going to get his money's worth now because now they're all going to stick together here. And they're going to get their money's worth, and now Mariano Duncan's going to get in there. And here's where it gets ugly because now, see, they're going after him. Walk away from him.
Exactly. This is where go away.
Walk
the
away
officials
from
need to walk
Absolutely.
away. That's why it gets worse.
Absolutely.
Don't be big man. Get your testosterone level checked and walk away.
Yep.
Let him leave the field.
Yep.
Why are you chasing the guy?
And that's what they're asking him right now.
I'm telling you, man, all these geniuses in the league office that look at tape of the umpires get on guys for instigating things with players. That's not right.
You could see that's what was gonna happen. Now here's for me, we've been sitting here now for 6, 7, 8 minutes now, and we still don't know if that first time that Grady Little came out there, if that was a charged visit or not. We've seen no signal of it yet, but I'm going by the fact that Grady Little got thrown out, so he wasn't happy about it. And then you knew when he walked out there to get the ball from Brad Penny, he wasn't going to be happy about it, and so they expressed themselves. And in the meantime, we've waited 10 minutes here to try to figure this out on our own, and I think we've got it.
Well, in the meantime, it's not as though Elmer DeSenz is going to need a lot of time. We're going to duck away because this is now an official pitching change. Actually, we're not going to duck away. We're going to stay here, and I like that idea even better because there's a lot of business to be sorted out here. We have watched Ted Barrett. This is the second base umpire. After Penny has been ejected, first Rick Reed goes after him a little bit. Right? We got to be big man here. The umpires have to show them that they're in control. And now Ted Barrett is literally moving the pack off the field, which is unnecessary because the coaches are moving the ejected player away.
Yep. And he shouldn't be talking. He should just be, if he's doing anything, just standing in between him and Rick Reed. There's no reason for him to follow him all the way to the dugout.
And it drives me nuts.
And again, I don't know what their procedure is for handling that situation, but I can tell you what, you could see it coming all night long because Brad Penny wasn't happy with that strike zone. I was talking to him about it in between innings.
All right, we've got a new pitcher. We got 2 runners on, and meanwhile, Woody Williams has had 9 minutes to cool off in the Padre dugout. That whole bit of nonsense, all that tomfoolery cost this game 9 minutes worth of strategy, rest, and game time. So here's Elmer DeSenz.